We're now going to move on to some challenges, and these are proving questions. So when you're dealing with proving questions, you're going to deal with one side of the equation. So in these, I always like dealing with the side where you're going to simplify, not expand. And on the left hand side of both these equations, we're going to simplify. So we're going to say the left hand side equals, okay, now this root 3 can be written as 3 to the power a half. Yeah, then we have minus 2x plus, now you can see here that our main base that we are dealing with is this 3. So we're dealing with this question is this 3. So, and in our answer we have a 3 to the power x. So when we're working with this, we want to isolate this 3. So we're going to have 4 times 3 times 3 to the minus x, right? And then this, a power of power, we multiply them. So I'm going to have 3 to the minus x. I had that because I went negative 2x times a half. I'm going to have plus 12 times 3 to the minus x. Now this might look familiar to you guys, and it should, because we now have a common term that we can remove as a common factor. 3 to the minus x into 1 plus 13, 12. And then we'll get this. So when we're dealing with this, we have a negative exponent. If you look at what we're proving towards, it has a positive exponent. So we're going to bring this to the bottom, and we have 3 to the x, and we have 1 plus 12 is 13. If we look at our question, is there more we need to do? No. So we then just say, therefore, left hand side equals our right hand side. We're going to work on number 2. Again, we're going to work with our left hand side because our left hand side is a side to simplify. So we have 9 to the power x plus 1 minus 6 times 3 to the 2x, root 3, 4 to the x, 4x plus 1 equals root 3. If you look here again, 3 is our main base we are working with. So let's convert whatever we can to that base of 3. So I'll have 3 to the power 2, and that's going into x plus 1 minus 6. This is already in that main base, over, now this root 3 can be written as 3 to the half plus 1. Go further, an exponent of an exponent we multiply, so I'll have 3 to the 2x times 3 to the 1 minus 6 times 3 to the 2x over, oh, I didn't finish writing this term over here. This term here is 3 to the half 4x plus 1. So I left out the 4x here. Then I'll have 3 to the 2x, because an exponent of exponents, so I'm going to multiply this half by the 4x, and I get 2x times 3 to the half, which is that 1 times a half. Now, as I move on, if you look at the top part of my equation, I have a common factor of 3 to the 2x, and that's going to go into 3 minus 6 Is that correct? Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. And yeah, I'm going to have this 3 to the 2x. Let me just make sure I looked at my question properly. Minus. Oh yes, here's my mistake here. This should be squared. Because if we look above, it will be 3 squared into both of them. This is the danger of skipping steps, guys. So this will be 9 minus 3. I then continue, and I'll have times 3 to a half. And this term right here cancels off with this term right here. And I'm left with 3 over 3 to the half, which is the same as saying 3 times 3 to negative a half. And that's just going to equal 3 to the half, which is equal to the square root of 3. Hope you guys understand that. I did make a silly error, but when you're doing your maths work, sometimes you're going to make errors, and that's why I leave them in the videos to show you guys it's okay. Just make sure you double check your work. Third one now. And when looking at this third question, you see that there's this restriction section here where x is greater than 0. And the reason why they're saying that is, in our terms where we have x to the power 5, if we had a negative there, we get a square root of a negative. So don't get intimidated by these restrictions. Sometimes even you don't understand them, just apply your work. So let's say I didn't understand this restriction. I just looked at it, it confused me, but I still want to get the marks. What did I do? Again, I'm going to work with the left hand side. And for my left hand side, since I have a square there, I'm going to put down my denominator first because that's the easy part to work with. Okay, now I'm going to square this, which means first, before I do that, I'd like to convert this into a 5 over 2 minus x to the 3 over 2, and this is all squared. So if I were to rewrite that, it'll be x to the 5 over 2 minus x to the 3 over 2 into x to the 5 over 2 minus x to the 3 over 2 over my x squared. Now I'm going to have this term here times this term times this term, and then that term. I'm just going to FOIL. So I'll have x to the 5 over 2 times x to the 5 over 2. So x to the 5 over 2 times x to the 5 over 2. I'm going to add that, and that's going to give me x to the 10 over 2, which will just give me x to the 5. And the same process is going to happen for the rest of the multiplication. So I'm just going to go through it now. And I'll have x to the 5 minus x to the 8 over 2 minus x to the 8 over 2 plus x to the 3 all over my x squared. That's now going to give me x to the 5 minus 2x to the 8 over 2 plus x to the 3 over x squared. I'm then going to get x to the 5 minus 2x to the 4 plus x to the 3 over this x squared. And here I'm then going to get a common factor which I can remove, and that common factor is x squared into x to the 3 minus 2x to the 2 plus x over x squared. And I can cancel these out. Let's do our cancelling out in blue. And now the terms I am left with, I can remove another common factor of x, which I'll then get x squared minus 2x plus 1. And if I was to factorize this, I'll get x into x plus 1 squared. And right here, what I have is the answer, because my left-hand side equals my right-hand side. So when you're dealing with questions like this, it's good to see that you don't have to see the answer immediately. Just work step by step by step. I hope this video is helpful. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down below how I can make the video better. If you want me to do more examples, I can. Please leave a like and subscribe.